After a week of no court due to a sick juror in the Thanksgiving holiday, the trial of 3 Tacoma police officers accused of killing Manny Ellis in 2020 resumed this week. We left off talking about witness Chris Nielsen, a police training sergeant from Renton called by the defense as an expert witness to speak about police practices and use of force. He said the actions of the defendants, officers Christopher Burbank, Matthew Collins, and Timothy Rankin, were appropriate the night Ellis died in their custody. The night in question, March 3rd, 2020, Ellis was walking home in Tacoma's South End when he encountered Burbank and Collins in a patrol car. How their interaction began is in dispute, but eyewitness accounts and video show that Ellis, who was unarmed, didn't fight back as he was repeatedly struck in the head, briefly put in a headlock, shocked with a taser 3 times, and pressed to the ground face down and handcuffed. The officers put their weight on Ellis' back, and when Rankin arrived as backup minutes later, he continued to put on pressure, even as Ellis pleaded with police at least 5 times that he could not breathe. Nielsen testified this week that police typically use a disproportionate amount of force on suspects to overcome whatever resistance they're putting up. Burbank and Collins told investigators that they first moved to subdue and arrest Ellis because he became aggressive and punched their patrol car after threatening to hit Burbank. Basing his conclusions solely on the officer's statements, Nielsen told jurors Burbank and Collins used an appropriate level of force by striking Ellis several times and then shocking him with a taser. Nielsen said the tactics were ineffective and that Ellis was resisting arrest, and he was a threat to officers even after he was handcuffed. He also said that because Ellis was flailing on the ground and hitting his head, it would have been inappropriate for police to leave him that way because he could hurt himself. The training sergeant also downplayed the dangers of someone being left in a prone position with an officer's weight on their back, saying he'd never seen anyone die that way in 13 years of police work. Thursday's testimony shifted to meth, which was found in Ellis' system after he died. His drug use and past arrests have been a focus of the defense's case. They seek to show that he tended to be aggressive with police while high, and that the high concentration of the drug, 2,400 nanograms per milliliter, combined with Ellis' enlarged heart, caused him to overdose and die. A forensic toxicologist from the Washington State Patrol's crime lab, Asa Lewis, was called by the defense, and he told jurors that therapeutic concentrations of meth, such as for use in treating narcolepsy or ADHD, range from 20 to 50 nanograms per milliliter. So far, his testimony hasn't offered many new insights. Asked if Ellis' heart condition would have made him more susceptible to overdose, Lewis said, possibly. Thanks for listening. I'm Peter Talbot, the criminal justice reporter for the News Tribune. You can follow our coverage at thenewstribune.com